Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and in this video I'm going to take a tour of the Indiana Medical History Museum in Indianapolis. If you studied or worked in the field of medicine, then I think you'll find this very interesting. The building was built in 1895, and out front of the museum they have a medicinal garden. All of these plants are used to, or have been used at some time to make medicine out of, like this one. You may be familiar with witch hazel. Some of these are real pretty flowers, and parts of the plants were used as medicines. This one's for hemorrhages and diarrhea. How about that? There is a lot of them here with those tags that tells what the medicinal use was of each one. I take a little pearl of garlic every day. That's good for your health, as that said. Butterfly weed treats respiratory illnesses. Boy, I'm afraid I'm going to learn maybe too much here today. I take too many pills a day as it is. Periwinkle is used to treat arthritis, believe it or not. Boy, look at all these. What is this big bush? It's called yew, with cancer treatment elements in it as well. This is black-eyed Susan, which is used for several ailments. And all of these cases are body parts of people. It gives their name and tells what happened to them. This person, that's their brain. This lady had a brain tumor.
Looks like we're ready to get started, everyone. So we can head back into this auditorium. You're welcome to take a seat. Their stories of, patients living out long periods of their life inside this iron lung. Yeah, so unfortunately. Alright, so when everyone's ready, our next stop is going to be the pathology. They can take it to this workbench, put it in some glass, preserve it with some fluid, and then seal it, put it on display for those medical students to come and see. So notice we have two sets of labels with each of our specimens. Depression. Some mental illnesses have more invisible causes. They're not caused by a big glaring tumor. However, these doctors back then couldn't have looked into someone's genome, looked at their DNA, and they couldn't have, examined chemical changes from the brain. So there were a lot of mental illnesses that would have been other really nasty symptoms, and at that point it's usually fatal, unfortunately. But what Dr. Brush and the team he was working with discovered was if they gave a patient with neurosyphilis malaria, what's your guess?
Because your fingertips probably have a lot of stuff on them.
Yeah.
That would weigh them.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So those extra oils and all that extra stuff on your fingers would actually add little bits of weight to those weights every time you picked it up. The scale looks a lot different. This one's a little bit more advanced because it's enclosed. Up here in this chemistry laboratory, they could have been doing, again, a little bit of research. They would have been doing a lot of diagnostic things as well. One example of that right here, we have a mock-up of something called the Langes Colloidal Gold test. So what they would do, these test tubes here would be red because they had little flakes of gold sitting in them. Then the physician could add a bit of spinal fluid from a patient to those. Based on the reaction that occurred, the color changed or what happened to the test tube, they could diagnose things like spinal meningitis or neurosyphilis, other infections like that. Yes, that's what this Langes Colloidal Gold test was used for. Back then, as a scientist working in this laboratory, that would have spun around in a circle. Does anyone know what this is?
Is that like a centrifuge?
Yeah, this one is the centrifuge. Histology is the study of tissues at the cellular level. So they would have been looking for pathologies, at the macroscopic level by examining, the gross pathology maps into slides thinner than a red blood cell. Really, really thin slides to go on the microscope. And yeah, you're welcome to take a peek under those if you'd like. As long as we don't touch the sides, we still have some old slides in there, so they're pretty cool. Yeah, once they have a little drawer, just like this one that we have out for you, and we have a ton more slides just right in here.
So is paraffin done the same way nowadays?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure if they still use it. When we talk about the history of this photograph, we also like to mention the history of this painting as well. So this is also tied to the history of the painting. Anyone else who wanted to see it, they can also place it in these lanterns up here to show to their medical students. And project that on the wall. Yes, that's what they'd be using.
This museum building was originally an insane asylum. Back before they realized that the insanity these people had was actually a medical problem. So they were held here without really being treated for their mental illness. And now I'm going to go into this doctor's office that was used up until about 1962, they said.
Yeah, it's a spooky name, but this is just our doctor's office now. Yeah. It doesn't fly open, but...
So let me know if you have enjoyed this tour, folks. Good day.